All right, everybody. Hope you all are having a great day. Now, so the Texas Longhorns, they handled the BYU Cougars after honestly having a way too close of a game versus the Houston Cougars away. So this was a home game at DKR. Finally, back to handling opponents. Hopefully, we continue to see this trend happen, especially versus a good Kansas State team. But today we're still talking about BYU, and we're going to be talking about some of the standouts on offense, defense, and special teams from the BYU game. So if you like the video, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then comment down below your standouts. I'm going to be giving at least 3 from each position, or not each position, but each position. This thing will be going on for hours, okay? But I'm going to be giving you 3 from each phase of the game. So like I said, offense, defense, special teams, we're going through them all. And yeah, if you like the video, again, drop a like on that video, and let's just hop right on into it. So now, where better to start than the defense? Because at the end of the day, you know what? Defense does win championships. Not saying that Texas is going to win a championship this year, but if Texas is going to win a championship, it will be in no small part due to this defense. This defense is playing very well. Top 25 defense in just about every single category you can think of. But starting off with my first standout of the game, T'Vondre Sweat. Who else? 7 total tackles, 1 pressure, 1.5 tackles for loss, and 3 run stops. That dude is a beast. He is in the backfield constantly. You want to talk about a guy who has made himself a lot of money. T'Vondre Sweat, absolutely. He is going to be going high in the NFL draft. Massive dude who is massive contribution. I believe, let me hear 1 second right now. Yeah, just had to get this correct. T'Vondre Sweat has a total defensive grade of 91.7. That makes him tied for third highest. The third highest graded defender in Power 5 per PFF. And so we're talking out of 159 teams. Not just Division 1. But this is a minimum of 150 snaps, so we're not counting guys that have had like 20 snaps that, oh man, they look like world beaters and versus, garbage time or whatever. No. But he is the highest graded defensive tackle. T'Vondre Sweat, he's having an absolute, just an amazing year. Yeah. So I'm so happy for, as you can see, these are all, and ironically, all 3 of these guys ended up making on the shout out list. So a little bit of spoiler there, but we're going into Jahdae Barron next. 6 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. This dude is a tackle for loss machine. At this point, I don't know why offensive coaches think, if Jahdae Barron is sitting on one side of the field, I don't care if it's the field side, I don't care if it's the bound, I don't care what side it is, how much space there is. I'm not throwing a pass behind the line of scrimmage on his side. It's almost a guarantee that it's going to get blown up. And honestly, that's probably the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is you have a pass intercepted, and it's almost like a pick 6, or it is a pick 6. Reminder of the Alabama game. So think back to that. Jahdae Barron, and he did have 1 pass deflection, which did lead to an interception. This is probably one of the most important defenders on the Texas team. He has been playing hurt, and there's I always think back to the AJ Hawk quote from the Pat McAfee show. I forget which show it was years ago, but AJ Hawk, he talked about how sometimes a player, you want guys that get hurt, not injured. A guy that gets injured, that's a guy that when he's hurt, he's not getting back in the game. He's injured. He's now injured. A guy that's hurt is a guy that, you know what, it's a bruise, coach. I'm good. I'm playing, right? Not saying that, and I'm not trying to say that some of these injured guys are sitting there being wimps and saying, oh, coach, take me out of the game. I don't want to play. That's not at all what I'm saying. There's just some guys that their bodies just hold up better. They're far more durable than other normal human beings. 99.999% of humans. Jahdae Barron is one of those. Xavier Wardley is one of those. These are guys that they get hurt, but they don't get injured. Jahdae Barron, absolute monster. Like I said, when you talk about his versatility on the defense, he can play corner, he can play nickel, he can play safety. He can play anything that you want him to back there. And I remember I actually had a little interaction with Rod Babers early on in the season on on Twitter. We were talking about how Jade Barron is probably the best defensive back to play at Texas. I mean, since Quandre Diggs. So his name is right up there with Kenny Vaccaro, Aaron Williams, Quandre Diggs. Like, he is a really good defensive back. And honestly, actually, that's who I compared him to, was not Quandre Diggs, but Aaron Williams. He reminds me so much of Aaron Williams. Just the versatility of, you can put him anywhere you want. He could be, if you wanted to, he could be a special teams demon. Jade Barron, absolute monster. And just another monster. Anthony Hill Jr. This dude is coming on for Texas. You want to talk about surging onto the field? Yeah. It's going to be hard to keep snaps away from this guy. 5 tackles, 4 of them solo. I believe that led the team in solo tackles. 1 tackle for loss and an almost interception. If you know which one I'm talking about, man. He kind of dropped it, so, got to catch that ball. Got to catch that ball, Anthony. But, man, this dude is coming on, and if this is the light coming on, when the light bulb is fully on, and it's hard not to dream. It's hard not to dream of a defense where, okay, like, if you look at it, you got, like, consider this. Anthony Hill just anywhere in the linebacker spot, okay? Anthony Hill playing linebacker. That's one linebacker that's just like an absolute stud. Manny Muhammad at cornerback, absolute stud. Derek Williams Jr., that's safety, absolute stud. Like, these are all physical specimens. You add in a Colin Simmons on the defensive line at the edge position, we're just about nailing every single position group that you need to have at least one just bookend stud that, like, has, like, legit first-round potential in the NFL draft. Yeah, Anthony Hill, man, it's hard not to think that, like, to dream of 1 to 2 years in the future when these dudes are all sophomores and juniors after multiple years of off-season programs at Texas. Yeah. I'm gonna stop dreaming in the future, but it's hard not to. It's hard not to. Now, speaking of dreaming in the future, this is a guy that a lot of people were starting to write off. I mean, a lot of fans have already written this guy off, and he had a good game, had his first sack at Texas. We're talking about none of, and so I put my 3. I'm going to do honorable mentions now. Justice Finkley, the justice is served. 1 sack, 5 tackles. Here's a fun fact for all you haters that want to hate on Justice Finkley. 3rd highest pass rush in Week 9 out of 159 teams, minimum of 15 pass rush snaps. So, I believe that was a 90.3 grade. So, Justice Finkley, absolutely getting it done, starting to see it happen, and starting to see it happen. Alfred Collins, starting to see that consistency. The stats don't show it, but he was frequently in the backfield. Honorable mention for Alfred Collins. The more we see that, the better this Texas team is going to keep on playing on defense. And Jamon Tapp, 6'3", 266 pounds, running with the running back. Absolute BS. Horrible PI. When I'm saying that is, I don't think it was a PI. I think he did a good job. 1 pressure, should have had a pass deflection. I mean, this dude, he was running step for step with the running back. This is the second time that we've seen it. You saw Baron Sorrell, he did a box. He put the guy in the box. Yeah. Jamon Tapp did too. Look, if this guy comes on, 6'3", 266 pounds, yes. Yes, this is something that you want to be happening on the Texas defense. Now, moving on over to the offense, we're going to start out with our boy, Jonathan Brooks. I told y'all. I told everybody. I tried my best. I tried my best to tell everybody. He is outproducing Bijan Robinson through the first 8 games of the season. This dude, you want to talk about a massive piece for the Texas Longhorns. Like, when people were sitting there saying that, oh, Sark has never had he's never had a season without a 1,000-yard back. Never had it. Nobody was expecting this. Nobody. Barely me. I was barely expecting this. Like, even, I'll be honest. Even me, I was like, are you being crazy? Are you being the crazy Nash that you normally are? Well, you know what? Sometimes you just got to stand on business. Sometimes you got to look crazy. I'm certainly glad I did not waver on my faith on Jonathan Brooks. This guy, everything that I said in the preseason about, okay, we need to it's the questions about garbage time, about opponents that he's ran against in the past. Fair. Let's wait till we see it happen. Let's wait till we see him have meaningful carries where he's the lead back or, a split backfield. And let's see what his splits are in those games. Well, I'm here to tell you, they're just the same. He's getting 10 plus yard rushes 15% of the time. He's getting 15 plus yard rushes 9% of the time. I hate to tell y'all, but Jonathan Brooks is that dude. I don't know if y'all can tell. I really don't hate to tell y'all that. And the quick thing, the people that are trying to downplay his, first off, nobody is saying that he's Bijan Robinson. Okay, these are two different talents. When you're talking about the talent, yes, Jonathan Brooks is outproducing Bijan Robinson, but that does not mean he's more talented than Bijan Robinson. Okay. Also, I'll say this: it depends on what you consider talent. I mean, Bijan Robinson is far more athletic, yes, hands down. Okay. But Jonathan Brooks, if you want to consider vision inside talent, Jonathan Brooks has a wide lead on the ability to have good vision at the running back spot. He also, if you'll notice something, 144 carries, 0 fumbles. I don't think, give me 1 second here, confirmed. In 195 attempts, he has never fumbled the football once for the University of Texas. So, you know what? This is something a lot of people, they were like, oh, Bijan never fumbled. He fumbled the football. He fumbled it about every 60 snaps, okay? I know it doesn't show it right here, but as his career numbers, it was about like every 60 snaps or so. It's not, look, I'm not trying to hate on Bijan Robinson. That's not all what I'm doing here. But I'm saying Jonathan Brooks is a lot better than people are giving him credit for, okay? There are some people that are sitting here trying to say that, oh, it's because of the better run blocking. Well, the run blocking, in my opinion, if you actually go and watch, yes, there's been a few runs that Jonathan Brooks actually goes and there's a good hole and he's breaking off 60 yards, something like that. But majority of the time, the runs, he's running into okay, now I gotta reconfigure this run and turn it into something, and that's where his vision comes in so handy. This dude, absolutely great. I cannot imagine where Texas would be without him. He had his 6th 100 plus yard all-purpose day. 12 missed tackles forced, that's a season high. 5.44 yards after contact per average, that's a season high. Also, those are numbers that were higher than what Bijan Robinson had to do to get those yards. So, I mean, he's having to run through contact. That's not these aren't massive holes that are out there. Okay, like I think like 87 rushing yards after contact. Yeah, 87 rushing yards after contact, 98 total yards. You do the math. Not a lot of yards without contact. Moving on to DJ Campbell. Now, okay, I'll say. Look, DJ Campbell has been a nice improvement in the run blocking game. All I just said, DJ Campbell is getting the job done as a run blocker. And not only as a run blocker, he's improving as a pass blocker. 0 pressures allowed. This is the second time where he had a game where 0 pressures, 0 sacks, 0 whatever, 0 hits on the QB. Improving as a pass blocker, this is something that you wanted to see. This was one of my gripes with him was that, he had his issues with pass blocking last year. He's definitely improving, and he's looking like he's taking that 5-star arc right next to Kelvin Banks. It should be a fun offensive lineman to watch at his time at Texas. Adonai Mitchell, 2-touchdown day, almost 3 touchdowns. He almost scored 3. The dude, absolute touchdown scoring machine. He has 6 of 16 red zone touchdowns. That's 37.5%, almost 40%. Adonai Mitchell has been such a big get for the Texas Longhorns through the portal. And He's just another guy that you wonder where Texas would be without him, without this guy. I know we have Nair. It's just, man, Adonai has produced, and at the end of the day, it's hard to say that, some other guy would produce the same level. Yeah, really glad we got Adonai, and I'm at the end of the day, I'm just glad that he's happy, wherever he's at. And then our offense, we only got one honorable mention on the offense. Jaden Blue, give the man more carries, please, because it's not just he has speed. He's got that Keelan speed, but you know what he can also do? He can also run through contact. He can also stiff arm dudes. You saw it. You've seen it multiple times this year. You saw it yesterday. Not yesterday. Saw it Saturday versus BYU. Man, this dude is crazy, and this has to be the highest. This has to be the highest PFF rating for elusive rating that they've ever put out. His elusive rating inside one game versus BYU, 3,600. 3,600. Now, elusive rating for those, it's just a signature stat measuring success and impact of a runner with the ball independently of the blocking. And another one to go show, Jonathan Brooks has a high elusive rating, so that goes to show that he's, succeeding independently of blocking. But, man, Jaden Blue, that dude is fast. Speed. Again, play him more. Play Jaden Blue more. Any of the media people saying that Jaden Blue, all that, that's for the birds. Okay? Jaden Blue's good. End of story. Keep it there. Timeout. Honestly, time. I completely forgot about Ja'Tavion Sanders. I completely forgot. I wanted to do him. Like, he was the first offensive guy, and then I was like, you know what? Let me get the defense guys first. Ja'Tavion Sanders, amazing game. It's actually so funny that he had such a good game and that's such a good game that I forgot about it. But it's almost like this wasn't a great game for him. But you know what? He had a great game. He had some great catches. He is one defender away from, like, the defender got the ball, got his mid on the ball. Ball never had the chance to get to Ja'Tavion Sanders' hands, but if it did, that was a touchdown catch in the end zone. Ja'Tavion Sanders, I just want to say, look, he shouldn't be an honorable mention. This is a guy that actually should be, like, leading the standouts of the offense. But you know what? Here we are. I forgot to put him in. So, this is me putting him in, and yeah. So, on to the rest of the video, and yeah. Again, sorry about that, Ja'Tavion. Look, trust me, we're fans of Ja'Tavion Sanders here, all right? So, it was an honest mistake, but Ja'Tavion Sanders, yes, did the damn thing. All right, back to the video. Now we're going to be moving on to one of the most overlooked parts of football, and that is going to be a special teams game. Yes, Worthy did have a 74-yard return, but we're not talking about that right this second. We're talking about none other than Ryan Sanborn, who has been, if you thought Michael Dixon was a GOAT, you need to think again. Ryan Sanborn is playing amazing right now, punting the football. 48.6 yards per attempt. That beats Dixon, blows Dickers out by 3 yards. A net, he has a high net, 45.5 yards per net. His net punt, so that's total punt yardage minus the return yardage, is almost what Dickers' total yardage was. And Cameron Dicker was one heck of a punter for Texas. Return percentage is high. I'm not worried about that with our coverage unit. Inside the 20%, that's high. Almost had one more that was just like, he had a ball. The broadcast angle didn't show it. So if y'all weren't at the game, sorry. Y'all missed a beautiful punt. I wish they showed the replay. It hit and then took an immediate nosedive to the side. Like, ball's going right to the camera, boop. And it was just this far. It was this far too far. If it was this much shorter, BYU starting with they're inches away from the goal line. Inches away from the goal line. It was an absolute beautiful punt. He's like, when you're talking about him kicking the ball from his 30-yard line, like his his ass is touching the 30-yard line for Texas. The ball is flying 70 yards through the air, and then but it's just the precision. Like you're talking about, he missed less than a yard, less than 3 feet. I mean, it's really impressive. And then if you thought, hey, you know what, Nash, that's not that impressive. Dixon and Dicker weren't that good. Well, over the last 2 games, he's been even better. The last 2 games when he's actually been punting the ball with some frequency. So 6 total punts. He's had 20 on the year, 6 in the last 2 weeks. 53.3 yards per attempt, so yards per punt. 48.5 net. That is more than Dixon's yards, the amount that Dixon average punted the ball. Inside the 20 of 50%, that's almost more if you consider that one that would have right in there. Return percentage is high, but then again, look, 4.83 yards per return. The yards per return is low. It should be green right there. Fair catch percentage 0. Again, not really caring when you got guys like Keaton Crawford running down the field to make tackles. I'm not really worried about them fair catch. If they don't fair catch the ball, look, that's on them. That's on the opposing team. And another thing that shows why I don't care about fair catch, a 4.24 hang time. This man is absolutely it's not like he's out kicking his coverage. That's something that would be concerning, right? He's kicking the ball, and that ball is hanging up there, allowing our guys to get downfield. Ryan Sanborn. Look, special teams, especially punting, is probably the most overlooked phase of the game. And Ryan Sanborn is, when you talk about a defense like ours, these are 2 very good pairings next to each other. Now, to end it off, Xavier Worthy with a 74-yard punt return touchdown. And then he added on a 15-yard return after that. And that one was close. That one was this close to going. Man, Xavier Worthy finally put it all together. Finally got in the end zone as a punt returner. So, love to see that. But I hope you all enjoy the video. This was me going over and showing you all the standouts because you know what? There was a lot of standouts in this game. There certainly are areas where we need to improve. But honestly, to the red zone issues, I think that a guy like Jaden Blue, hand the ball off to him in the red zone. It can't go worse than what it's already been doing. And the only way it can get better is if he scores. And you know what? I think he might do that. So, all right, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. And as always, hook 'em!